Hello and welcome to the Citi Newsroom from our studios at number 5 Ola Hansen Lane at Tesano. My name is Kwaku Aduamah Ansah. Coming up, Labour analyst warns of a rapid depletion of Ghana's human resources if nothing is done to discourage the youth from leaving the country for greener pastures.
There's coming a time you
Players within the advertising space push for the passage of the advertising bill.
The much talked about advertising bill needs to, as a matter of urgency, be passed to bring the necessary regulatory backing, standards and framework for the quick advancement of this industry.
Also coming up, residents of Tema bemoan malfunctioning traffic lights at the busy Community 5 intersection and call for urgent action to improve road safety.
You know, when drivers are not cautious enough, one person giving way to the other, then you can see a long stretch of vehicles just trying to enter the main street or right from the traffic light, the 4 intersections, one giving way to the other.
And later, Bamahu Junior High School in the Wa Municipal Assembly gets furniture to resume teaching and learning after fire raised portions of the school last week.
We plead with our Municipal Director of Education, our Municipal Municipal Chief Executive to still come to our aid as we are still in need of more furniture.
Let's bring you our very first story this hour. And a Labour analyst, Austin Game, is warning of a rapid depletion of Ghana's human resource if nothing is done to stem the tide of the increasing number of youth leaving the country to seek greener pastures. His comment is in reaction to the mass exodus of skilled and unskilled Ghanaian youth over the last few years. In the following report, some youth lament the current state of affairs and call for employment opportunities to be made available by the government for them to survive.
BBC say Germany ne UK ehemfa na ye some of them and say apart from say enye Ghana and enye within Africa na ye outside Africa say Afghanistan and Iraq kra na juma wo ho ko apa on kontra mitime sa mu Ghana hono me.
A picture of a beautiful, plush and comfortable life is painted by persons who have had the opportunity to leave the shores of the country. According to them, the move to travel to seek greener pastures is ideal in the current economic situation of Ghana. Unfortunately, the pressure has caught up with majority of youth in Ghana who in their words describe their homeland as a country without a bright future. I met this driver who works with one of the ride-hailing apps on one of my usual rounds. Thinking he is living a decent life, he tells me how his hopes of living his dream life in the US was dashed after he was duped of his capital. According to him, traveling to see greener pastures became a priority after his search for a lucrative job became a Herculean task.
After SHS, 2018, so I had a couple of friends who traveled and they came and the pressure was something else, because when you look, we grew together and they are making I'm the third born in the family, but they are girls, so automatically I become the firstborn. So I decided just to pave the way so that the other ones follow me won't come for that, won't come and see that struggle here. So I just sacrificed myself to just go and make it.
Bowing to pressures from peers, family members and friends on social media, Frank's best bet to secure a good life was banked in traveling to places he terms as a land of possibilities. But how does he get to such a country to live his dream life?
around Ashama, there's some people who sell this American lottery. Yeah, so I went to buy it and I was going and a man approached me and it was like, he sees I'm very anxious of moving outside, so he will help me. So he said 8,000, but he will take like 80%. So when he's done with everything and we are like the day I'm going, then I'll join the rest of the 2,000. I was doing this Piota work. I was driving the Kia truck. Yeah, and aside that too, my boss was selling sugar, rice, oil, those things. And so when there's goods, we go and convey it into the container. We'll get something from there. I do double job, like just to save your hand. Oh, so even that time, like the money I used to give my mother, I've reduced it. She even thought maybe I've gotten some girl and she didn't know.
Unfortunately, after all these sacrifices, Frank's dreams were short-lived. His agent, who had promised to secure his visa, left him in the middle of nowhere.
I went to him, and after when I left there, a guy confronted me and said, "Do I know the man?" Initially, the man told me if anybody calls me around, I should not mind the person. It was the following day I had to come, then we go to the airport. Initially, we were supposed to go that day, but he told me it's because of COVID, and they said there are 2 people who have been seen affected the COVID. So when the flight has been cancelled, so we should do it the next day. So that was when I was coming back, and boom, the guy told me the thing. Seriously, that day I didn't know what to do. I burst into tears. I cried.
Frank is not in this alone. A 35-year-old SHS graduate is also bent on leaving the shores of Ghana for a better life. His 3 attempts at securing a visa to his preferred country.
We do apologize for that, and we'll bring you details in subsequent bulletins. Now, some commuters of Tema Community 5 in the Tema metropolis have lamented the delay by authorities to repair malfunctioning traffic lights at major intersections in the area. Now, the residents bemoan all the traffic lights at the intersection have ceased operating for over 3 months, and attempts to get authorities to fix them have proven futile. Now, Citi News' Kennedy Chumesi has more in the following report, read to you by Beverly London.
A few meters east of the Tema General Hospital is the Tema Community 5 intersection. Vehicles are seen moving around swiftly. But one of the major problems commuters have had to bear with is the malfunctioning traffic lights at the intersection. It has 4 major roads leading to the intersection, thus making it the busiest place in the area.
The traffic light has not been working, and due to that, some drivers, when they get to the traffic light, I don't know whether it's like they want to cross. One waits for the other to cross, and it's like they want to crash, and which is creating a lot of problems here. And I think the city authorities need to do something about it. In Tema here, Community 5 traffic light, I think the city authorities need to do something about it.
The absence of working traffic lights at the intersection has made it increasingly difficult to cross the roads since drivers rarely stop for pedestrians. Commuters lament the faulty traffic lights. A few meters east of the Tema General Hospital is the Tema Community 5 intersection. Vehicles are seen moving around swiftly. But one of the major problems commuters have had to bear with is the malfunctioning traffic lights at the intersection. It has 4 major roads leading to the intersection, thus making it the busiest place in the area.
The traffic light has not been working, and due to that, some drivers, when they get to the traffic lights. I don't know whether it's like they want to cross, someone one waits for the other to cross, and it's like they want to crash, and which is creating a lot of problems here. And I think the city authorities need to do something about it. In Tema here, Committee 5 traffic lights, I think the city authorities need to do something about it.
The absence of working traffic lights at the intersection has made it increasingly difficult to cross the roads since drivers rarely stop for pedestrians. Commuters lament the faulty traffic lights have ceased operating for over 3 months, and efforts to get authorities to fix them have not been successful.
That time there was an accident. The other car was coming from down there, and the other car was also coming inside. They didn't take time. In the middle of the road, they crashed 2 private cars, and it was a problem. I was standing there when the accident happened.
We are much stressing around here, mostly accident cause around here. But there's nobody come and maybe find out how the solution it should be. So we are needing your help for you to consult the seniors or the staff to come and do something about it. When the traffic light is moving up, I think I will stand. I know that it's showing up, so I will stand for the case to pass. But so far as it's not working, everybody wants to take opportunity to cross over. So that's what it's caused accidents.
Churches and schools are not far from the intersection. Church members and students of these institutions have lamented the ordeal they have to go through in crossing the road. Maxwell Tete is the administrator of the First Baptist Church and also oversees the First Baptist School. For him, they are forced to require the services of others so their students and church members could cross the roads safely.
The traffic light is not far from our entrance and exit. So sometimes, when drivers are not cautious enough, one person giving way to the other, then you can see a long stretch of vehicles just trying to enter the main street or right from the traffic light, the 4 intersections, one giving way to the other. So number one, you see a long stretch from the traffic light even to our entrance and exit. Occasionally too, the children find it very difficult in crossing the road. That is why we have engaged security men who would lift up their flags to indicate when to cross and when not to cross. But the main issue here is that during the peak hours, you would see a lot of cars just trying to maneuver their way through the traffic as a result of the malfunctioning of the traffic light, and that is a major challenge.
The National Road Safety Authority posits that non-functioning traffic lights are estimated to be a major cause of road crashes and traffic congestion in different parts of the capital region. In view of this, Mr. Tete recounts to Citi News the numerous accidents that have occurred on the intersection and the need for authorities to swiftly take action to fix the lights.
Sometimes you see signs of accident. You go home in the morning when you are coming, you see fragments of broken windows of cars and then windscreens of cars, meaning that during the evenings or late at night there was some form of accidents here and there. But they do occur, especially with the taxi drivers and the trotro drivers, those plying the Tema Shama road. They are not careful when the traffic light is malfunctioning, and therefore we have some few incidents here and there. We are calling on authorities. Sometimes, and we know most of them live within our communities. They know that's the road they use every day to their workplaces, and they know that the traffic light is not functioning. So we are calling on them to, as a matter of urgency, come and attend to it, so that at least road users and other pedestrians can at least feel at ease when using the road to serve the community.
Now, residents of Makati Hill South in the Wijebawe municipality of the Greater Accra region fear there is a looming flooding situation in the area if authorities do not stop developers from encroaching on the Ramsar site close to Pambros. The residents say some drains in the area have also been blocked with fence walls constructed by these developers. There's more in the following report filed by Citi Newsroom's Philip Nilati.
Many communities within the Greater Accra region get flooded during the rainy season, a situation that is of concern for both residents and authorities. In many instances, the flood had rendered affected individuals homeless and also destroyed property. The situation has largely been attributed to the encroachment of Ramsar sites and also indiscriminate building on waterways. In a bid to prevent such occurrences in the South McCarthy enclave, residents want the government to come to their aid by stopping private developers from blocking major drains in the area with fence walls. According to the Assembly member for the electoral area, Clement Ejay, the blockage of two water channels known as South Drain and Bali River might cause serious flooding when the rains start.
When it rains, the community gets flooded. Here is a flood-prone area. And as you can see, here is a wetlands or a Ramsar site. And here shouldn't have been filled in the first place. But unfortunately, the municipality, as an assembly, we have looked on unconcerned and allow individuals to just fill the place with reckless abandon. And it is affecting the community big time. And when you look at my right hand, this is where a Chinese developer has just erected a long wall. And in the process has blocked the Bali and the downstream and the rains that coming from the Makati. And it is failing to the lava, and if care is not taken to avert the situation, the future, the coming drains, the community will be very catastrophic. We are sitting on a time bomb as a community.
Secretary for the South McCarthy Landlords Association, Richard Buedi, added that the activity of the developers in the area is threatening the lives of the many residents, hence the call to have them stopped.
Our problem is flooding. Anytime it rains, the place floods. So every year we organize ourselves, and at times we receive assistance from some of the residents here, the MP, the assembly, to dredge the gutters. When it is dredged, the flooding subsides. But of late, the activities of some developers, they are filling at places where the water has to flow. So it's becoming very difficult for us when it rains. And from what it has been done right now, I think the assemblyman will take you around. If you go, you realize that the course of the stream is filled and structures are being constructed. So anytime it rains from now, it will be terrible for us over here. It will be very disastrous. And we request that whoever is filling the place and constructing to block the access of the road should cut drains so that the water will flow down to Pambros. Because it flows from here, from the Malam market, down to Pambros, then from there to Dansman.
For Nana Kunto, who is a resident of the area, they will be left with no option than to stage series of demonstrations to compel the appropriate authorities to address the issue.
Because I've lived in their country, I've lived in Japan, I've lived in China, I know what is going on right there. If you're a foreigner, you cannot go and do this in their country. See, because even the citizens of themselves in China and Japan, or let me say Asia as a whole, they don't conserve their rules. You see, so what I would say is that if he wants us to live peacefully together with and this community, then he has to do the right thing for us.
So what if he doesn't do it? What will you do?
Well, then I think there'll be a big demonstration that you're going to do so that to get to the hearing of the president. This is what I want you to know. Yeah, we're going to do a demonstration because I can't be living here and every year, twice or thrice, have to move from my house and sleep somewhere else, which is amazing, which is not good. You see, we can't be waiting for this thing to be happening on being a citizen of myself. I will not accept that to happen on me again.
Residents of South McCarthy, all they are asking for is for the various authorities to be up and doing and ensuring that developers who are filling the Ramsar site or blocking the drains in this particular community are stopped. The reason is when the rains set in, there will be chaos or disaster in this community. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Philip Nihilate.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV. Still to come. Players within the advertising space push for the passage of the advertising bill. We have details of this and other stories coming up shortly. Kindly stay.
Creamy Plus is a fully skimmed evaporated milk. Creamy Plus is available in a shop near you.
This message has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Within the diner, minya HIV in February 9. No credit na edin ye semejatum. Ebra mi yen hwehwemu no. Na edro ni baabia adom ni nti mfiansia echi edro bai e wo Ghana ha.
Ampao ka abra no mfie bi echi na antiretroviral no ebi ni ho. Na anidaso ni ho mayedache. De ne adwene ho ani wu eda yanim.
Me ne wo faware mfie dunum nie ono so HIV positive. Mfie dodo anyina mu antiretroviral yi ena wiase nyina agya tum se yamfamre HIV mu awa na se. Hwe se ye ho ayefe. Ade ba akone se antiretroviral yi se wono ne pepepe se de ya kire wo na akutia HIV mu awa no. Abosumi sia wo yehwehwemu a emwa ne brase na ontini sanfa ma obi fufuro. Na mom kai so be no wedru yi.
Yes, say nyanu mo HIV mu awa no bi se. Onum antiretroviral no ne yie. Yetime to esase enfempim no ne adiasa.
A great journey lies ahead of us all, and we all have different paths carved out for us. No matter who you are and the path you're on, make sure you choose a partner you can trust, a partner with integrity who will always give you the support you need when you need it. No matter what you do and where you are in your journey in life, you are very significant, and so is the path you're on.
Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG, cherishes financial security as much as you do and shares the same values as you. That is why we are the right financial partner to stand with you. We are now one of the largest banks in Ghana, and we are ready to partner and work with you. CBG, we stand with you.
You're welcome back to the program. Now, players within the advertising space are pushing for the passage of the advertising bill. Now, the bill, when passed, will help sanitize activities in the advertising space, including the wrongful citing of billboards, which pose an obstruction for commuters of roads in our towns and cities. Now, speaking at the 8th investiture ceremony of the Advertising Association of Ghana, the Minister of Information, Kwaku Aduamah Ansah, assured of pushing for the passage of the advertising bill. We have more in the following report.
In recent past, there have been several calls for policymakers to pass the advertising bill to regulate the speed at which business operators are erecting billboards and other advertising notices across our towns and cities. Although advertising plays a significant role in the revenue generation mechanism of the local economy, it comes with its own downside. The absence of an advertising bill has created avenues for individuals to churn out content that do not preserve and enhance values of society. It has also created a scenario where advertising media, ranging from billboards, signposts, posters, banners, and many more, are wrongly cited. The situation is gradually marring the beauty of our towns and cities, and these billboards clutter the road infrastructure. There have been reports which suggest that the Spenters Road, the 37 Roundabout, Osu Oxford Street, Kaswa Highway, and many popular streets and roads have been turned to unauthorized grounds of competition for advertisement. Speaking at the 8th investiture ceremony of the Advertising Association of Ghana, new President Andrew Aka called on government to pass the advertising bill to help mitigate the instance of the clutter.
The world, and more significantly Ghana, is entering a period of economic downturn. Advertising is the bellwether industry, which means it is at the forefront of the economy. Any policy the government makes has an impact on our industry. The AAJ has tried to regulate advertising through compliance and moral persuasion. However, this has not worked satisfactorily, and it is the reason we are calling on the government to do two things for us. First, help us pass the advertising bill, and again, we can't say this any harder. Help pass the advertising bill, and secondly, the bill's passing will help stimulate revenue to support the government during these difficult times.
The Minister of Information, Kwaku Aduamah Ansah, who delivered the keynote address, assured of government's support to pass the bill.
The challenges of today and the challenges of the future require us to double our efforts and to do even more if we are to remain relevant in our various places. The much talked about advertising bill needs to, as a matter of urgency, be passed to bring the necessary regulatory backing, standards, and framework for the quick advancement of this industry. Any industry that doesn't sort out its regulation quickly struggles. In markets where this industry has excelled, it has excelled within a properly regulated environment. I do know how much work you have done already in the preparatory stages, and I'd like to assure you that when all is ready, my doors at the Ministry of Information are open to help you see the draft bill passed into law. Indeed, my uncle, the Honorable K.T. Hammond, who has just been nominated as Minister responsible for Trade and Industry, will take his seat very soon, and I look forward to leading you to pay a courtesy call on him to ask for his support so that we have it passed ASAP. But beyond this, Mr. President, we must also develop the collaboration between you as an industry and the policymakers in government. We must commit to regular collaborative dialogue to explore how we can regularly work together and share best practices to develop a strong, vibrant, and a stronger industry.
On his part, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, Henry Quartey, expressed his preparedness to help clamp down on unauthorized billboards that have scattered across the city.
This is 2023. Some people said I've resigned. Some people said I'm slow or I've gone to bed. But you see, I am battery and I'm charging. I want to strike on this indiscipline about billboards. And mark my words, we will do the job. That we will do.
Could these billboards and advertising notices on the stretch of our highways obstruct commuters? Citi News interacted with some of them and they shared their thoughts with us.
And then, I can say, Mum, I was so by whom a quem banket one and get sometimes no, a quem ye. A wall macaque so a title I said him cry. I had quite we are commadine, the Biazan Sio. I said, Massmat, I said, me, same year was in me, a cross so accident rough. And she said, Penfon Bavana said, I must appoint it 12 mumma. And I be bored and get one for too much. Will be promotion get to cry now, per 7 fine day. We will find yes, some board, no fancy more, and one, not cheer. Also, who will acquire the Nadia. These are binding AME between a day. I don't want some day. I can't. Said the way I am so adore for no. Yes, you are back. Cousin get one to be who came.
Yeah, no, you so bon also. Especially me kuta cousin ketwano. Baby Josh I be to say ufi ha mo ko Laboni ko Kubako junction. Baby electoral commission police for Indiano. Omo junction somebody necessary junction do pepepe. And see the you and me na before the nebia can be bar never hit you. Secondary free zone board. Yeah, you do have a free zone board. You call nafty. Junction no do home. Some of the baby sisi home. They be a kahwasem.
Reporting for Citi News, I am Emmanuel Opon.
Now, some Ghanaians are still reeling under the impact of sanctions imposed on them by the Communications Ministry for not registering their SIM cards. The customers for over 5 months now have been excluded from enjoying services of mobile network providers, including the blocking of their numbers for special messages to be played for 48 hours, the rerouting of calls and a deactivation of the SIM card. Some of them have been highlighting its impact on their businesses in the following report.
The last time we heard about the news of the SIM card registration exercise, which is being done by the National Communications Authority, NCA, was sometime in 2022. At that time, a lot of individuals had thronged the various mobile network centers to get their SIM card re-registered. And you would remember that a lot of hold-ups were reported because many individuals did not have their Ghana cards ready at that time. A lot of people had complained that the NCA or the NIA was not working assiduously to get them their Ghana cards ready for onward use for the SIM card registration exercise. Well, fast forward, a lot of people have received their Ghana cards now, and as required by law, they are to re-register their SIM cards, which we know that is going to curb some fraudulent activities in that space. Well, sanctions were also put in place by the authorities, that is the NCA and the Ministry of Communications, to ensure that individuals register their SIM cards on time.
Upon consultation with the industry and in view of the challenges enumerated above, I have very reluctantly decided to grant a final conditional extension. The program will, and I'm choosing my words carefully, the program will be extended to 30th September to end on the anniversary of its commencement. That will give us 1 full year of SIM registration. It will be reviewed at the end of this month, and any SIM that has not been fully registered by the end of August will be barred from receiving certain services, including voice and data services.
The various deadlines that were given were postponed to allow for a lot of Ghanaians to go about the process. Well, it is 2023 and it's in February now, and still people are not yet done registering their SIM cards. It means that these people will face the various sanctions that have been outlined by the Ministry of Communications and the NCA. I have been interacting with some of these applicants or these registrants who are still going about the registration of the SIM cards for various reasons, and they have been sharing with us why they have delayed in registering their SIM cards and also its effect, that is the sanctions that have been meted out by the Ministry of Communications and the NCA on them.
I have a Ghana card. I'll go through first session and remaining for them to clear the card, and they told that the card is faulty. So I should go for replacement. I went for replacement. since August up to now. Since was last year. Up to now, I didn't receive my card. I just went there right now. Within 20 minutes ago, I went there. I don't have my card.
How is it affecting you?
How is it affecting me? Which that I have do my responsibility that I have to hold my chip to work with. Now I don't have a chip to work with.
So how do you do your work? How do you go about it?
Mostly I use my daughter's number to do my contacts, which is bad.
Yeah.
So seriously, I'm very confused. I don't know what to do.
Would you want something to be done about it?
Yes, I want something to be done about it because now I don't have a chip to work with. All my contacts, all my business are in that chip.
But you say that it's not your fault, so you shouldn't have been bearing the
No, yes, it's not my fault. Because I've registered since 2019.
What was the challenge?
I misplaced my Ghana card.
Okay, how long has it been?
I think for like more than a year. More than a year, probably. And I'm also far from Accra. I think I'm at the western of Kadieso, so I'm at Kadieso. So I had to come all the way to Kumasi or Accra. But I chose Accra because I was coming to do something in Accra. So I chose to come to Accra to do the registration together with what I've come to do. And I think it has been easier because I went to the NIO office around 7:30. Hopefully by 9:30 I was done and I got my Ghana card. So I chose to do the registration today before I return back home.
But I'm sure that the sanctions that they have outlined, you've been facing some of them. What are some of the challenges?
Like my SIM was blocked. I couldn't do outgoing calls and I was not getting incoming calls and I was not also getting access to the internet and then my mobile money too. So those were all the sanctions I was facing.
How disturbing was it for you?
It was very disturbing because I've connected my SIM card to my bakery business. I'm into bakery business. Then most of my customers call me on my blog number. But because my Ghana card was misplaced, I was not getting that, so I was not able to get a new one. So it has really been hectic for me.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV with me, Kwaku Aduamah Ansah. Still ahead. Bamaho Junior High School in the Wa Municipal Assembly gets furniture to resume teaching and learning after fire razed portions of the school last week. Details coming up shortly. Kindly stay.
This money flow? Yes. What is it with pig feet? No.
Ghana is a country that's full of historical antecedents and rich cultural heritage. What is a rich cultural heritage without soul food? And what is soul food without a touch of ethnicity? And what is ethnicity if it's not from your village? The season of all things Ghanaian is upon us, and we are here to celebrate an aspect of our Ghanaianness with the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar, happening live from the 25th to the 26th of March 2023 at the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly. Come, let's treat ourselves to delectable, authentic Ghanaian cuisine from the northern, the middle, and the southern zones of the country that reflect our true cultural diversity. While at it, we'll be jamming to genuine Ghanaian music amidst games, competitions, storytelling, and so much more. Interested vendors of indigenous foods are invited to register. Don't let this be another missed opportunity. Call 0205-973-973 to book a stand and be part of the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar 2023. Anyamime, the country make hoto. So come, let's enjoy some good food, resounding music, heartfelt camaraderie, and remind ourselves why Ghana is still our home at the Back to Your Village Food Bazaar on the 25th and the 26th of March 2023 at the forecourt of the AMA from 8 a.m. each day. The Back to Your Village Food Bazaar is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and is sponsored by Voltic Ghana Limited.
You're welcome back to the program. Let's bring you more stories now. And nearly a week after fire raised a makeshift classroom at the Bamaho Junior High School in the Wa municipality of the Upper West region, the Wa Municipal Assembly on Friday presented furniture to the school to help restore teaching and learning. Now, before the intervention, the pupils were compelled to sit on the bare floor of an uncompleted structure to receive teaching due to the inferno that engulfed the school last week. There's more in the following report by Citi News' Latif Mahama.
Since last Monday, authorities of the Bamaho Junior High School have been struggling to accommodate their Form 2 pupils. This is because a makeshift shed that hitherto served as a classroom was raised. The affected pupils were compelled to use an uncompleted structure due to the inadequate classroom situation at the school. To ameliorate the plight of both teachers and pupils of the Bamaho Junior High School, the Wa Municipal Assembly on Friday presented 20 desks and 30 bags of cement to help provide a safe learning environment.
Fire gutted a temporary structure for which the people were using, and that necessitated our swift action to get you a number of furniture, at least to be given to those whose class was affected. And in addition to this furniture, we are also giving you 30 bags of cement to support with the ongoing community-initiated project. At least that we know will assist to complete the block, whilst we go to put our house in order to see how best and how fast we can get you a complete DHS block. So this is far advanced in our plans, and we are ready to do that. We know that education is a bedrock for every nation, and it is a prerequisite for development. And as a representative of a government who has the people at heart and development, and of course education as core as its mandate, we are not going to relent in our effort to support you, and we'll take this one serious. We are also aware of the new numbers or the improved numbers in terms of enrollment that is being experienced by this school and some other public schools. We know that is not coming out of a vacuum. It comes as a result of the effort people are making and the contribution we are also giving you in that regard. So we want to sustain that. And in our effort to sustain that, this is the bit that we can do.
The Bamaho Junior High School, in spite of its proximity towards the Upper West regional capital and some basic public schools, are confronted with an acute classroom shortage and decent office space for teachers. Teachers and some pupils are now making do with these makeshift structures to conduct teaching and learning at the Bamaho Junior High School. The Assembly says it is embarking on a rigorous program to provide decent classroom accommodation for needy schools within the municipality.
As we talk now, we know many schools in the municipality have challenges with regards to furniture, and others too have inadequate classroom blocks. As I indicated earlier, this is happening as a result of the patronage of the public schools this time around because of the interventions of the management of education in the municipality and the region at large. So we also do our best as an authority to support. So if any of this comes into our notice, in fact, we also do our best to support. Already in our medium-term development planning, we have made substantial provision for improvement of education within the municipality. So I know going forward, any other school that is affected by such or that is lacking one or two facilities will get the support from the Assembly.
The Wa Municipal Director of Education lauded the government, especially the Wa Municipal Assembly, for the intervention.
Actually, I want to say a very big thank you to our MCE and of course the government for this very wonderful support. In actual fact, this is a very pleasant surprise to us in the Wa Municipal Directorate, because this school, fire gutted one classroom in this school just last Sunday. The the MC got wind of it. Even before we reported to him, he was here himself to look at the situation on the ground. And just between Monday and today, Sunday, he was here on Monday Then just from Monday to today, Friday, he has been able to present a good number of furniture for this class, the JHS 1 A and B of Bamahu Dago Bent, so that the children can be comfortable once more. Like I said, it's a very pleasant surprise because the response has been very swift. We are very grateful to the Honorable MCE, and our prayer is that just like he has responded to this need swiftly, he will respond in the same way to all the other needs of our basic schools, which are so many, which we have presented to him. He has responded to others also, but I must say not as swift as this one.
In fact, having provided us with this sense, it will go a long way to make our classrooms very conducive for teaching and learning to take place. And in fact, like the director did mention, this is not the only class that has that challenge. If you go through the rest of the classes, you would have realized that we are still in dire need of furniture. So I will plead with our Municipal Director of Education, our Municipal Municipal Chief Executive to still come to our aid as we are still in need of more furniture.
Some pupils of the school also spoke to Citi News.
I feel happy that they brought furniture for us to sit comfortably and learn. Thank you for bringing the furniture to us.
I feel so happy because they give us furniture. We were not having furniture, but now we have furniture. I have to say thank you for giving us the furniture.
The provision of furniture to the Bamahu Junior High School is to alleviate the plight of the pupils and enhance teaching and learning. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Latif Mahama, Bamahu.
Let's just stay on education because the headmistress of the St. Mary's Senior High School, Philomena Owusu Ansah, says the school will need an 18-unit classroom block to be able to run a single-track system. Her comment comes on the back of infrastructure challenges confronting the school as yearly enrollment increases. There's more in the following report.
Government in 2017 introduced its flagship free senior high school program to eliminate financial barriers to accessing second cycle education. The social intervention has seen an increase in enrollment, with some senior high schools currently running a double track system. Speaking at the St. Mary's Senior High School's 73rd Speech and Prize Giving Day, headmistress of the school, Philomena Owusu Ansah, indicated that the school will require an 18-unit classroom block to run a single-track system as enrollment keeps increasing yearly.
The infrastructure situation in the school cannot be said to have been completely solved as the students' enrollments continue to increase yearly. Presently, the school will require an 18-unit classroom block to be able to run the single track. Our dormitory infrastructure, besides needing some rehabilitation, is also not adequate to accommodate the huge number of students requesting to be in the boarding house. However, I want to take this singular opportunity to thank the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, for coming to the aid of the school. It is on record that during one of his tours in Accra, which brought him to St. Mary's Senior High School, 3 requests which were submitted to his office are all receiving attention: a school bus, reconstruction of the school fence wall, and covering of the drain which passes through the school from Koligono to Koli Lagoon.
Metropolitan Catholic Archbishop of Accra, Most Reverend John Bonaventure Kofi, speaking through his secretary, Reverend Emmanuel Appa, noted that Catholic education has delivered in grooming people to become well-rounded members of the society. He, however, indicated that the church will be requesting quotas for Catholics who want to attend Catholic schools.
Our local managers, that is the priests, are also stripped of their power to effective supervisions and custodians of faith as expected. Our schools are therefore overpopulated, affecting teaching and learning and putting undue pressure on facilities. Together with my brother bishops, we shall request for a reasonable quota for our Catholic youth who desire to enter Catholic institutions. All hope is not lost. There is light at the end of the seemingly dark tunnel. Hopefully, with the right and sincere consultations, as well as the necessary sacrifices, and the honesty to protect the national purse on the part of government and its agencies, the economic challenges can be surmounted in the not too distant future.
The ceremony was on the theme, Holistic Education of the Senior High School Girl Child, a prerequisite to a successful life.
Now, after 5 months of a nursing a gunshot wound at the Upper West Regional Hospital, the family of a 16-year-old boy who suffered an amputation after being hit by a stray bullet from the police is accusing the latter of neglecting their son after the said incident. Now, the family says they have exhausted all their meager resources on the medical bills of the victim who has been neglected by the police. Citi News says Latif Mahama has more.
On September 16, 2022, Ibrahim Hafiz Fribu was reported to have been going to the mosque in Wa when he was hit by a stray bullet that renders him permanently disabled. The police are reported to have shot live bullets into a rampaging youth that were protesting the killing of private security men in Wa but missed their target. The family of the victim say they have been in talks with the police to get a compensation package for their son, which includes getting a prosthetic leg, taking care of his education, as well as paying for his hospital bills, but all fell on deaf ears. An uncle of the victim, speaking after receiving a check for 4,000 Ghana cedis from the Wa Municipal Assembly, appealed to the government, especially the police hierarchy, to ensure justice is served.
We are also still appealing to government to come to our aid because the boy is now half a human being, if not three-quarters. On the side of the police, they are even adamant. Nobody has come to say anything. Since we took the thing, they even asked us how we got to know that it was a bullet that got the boy. So they said we should go and wait. Anytime they are ready, they will call us. We are not happy and we will never be happy with it because justice has not been served. When they come in to take charge of expenses and also restore the boy to some level, we will know that justice has been done.
The 4,000 Ghana cedis check is to help acquire a prosthetic leg for Ibrahim Hafiz Frebo. The Wa Municipal Chief Executive, after presenting the check, thanked the family of the victim for their patience and promised that the Assembly, through its Disability Fund, is committed to supporting little Hafiz and all other disabled persons within the municipality.
Since the occurrence of the incident, authorities of the municipality has been working around the corner to see how best we can support the family to assist the young one to be able to continue his school. As you can see, he lost part of the limb, and that posed a challenge for him in his daily activities and of course going to school. Authorities of the Wa Municipal Assembly, the management of the Disability Fund Committee have decided to support the family to acquire him a prosthetic limb so that can facilitate his movement. And in that regard, the Assembly is presenting a check of 4,000 cedis to the family to support them to acquire the limb from the Wa Regional Hospital.
As the family of Hafiz Frebu continue to seek for justice for their son, the gesture by the Wa Municipal Assembly is expected to help alleviate his plight. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Latif Mahama. Wa.
And that's it for today's edition of the Citi Newsroom here on Citi TV. Do remember that our website, citinewsroom.com, has more information on our top stories and more. Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV. Do watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and on GoTV channel 182. My name is Kwaku Aduamah Ansah. Many thanks for your company.
The Heritage Caravan 2023 is officially sold out. Get ready for 7 exciting days of adventure through 14 incredible regions of Ghana with the promise of a rich cultural experience, introspective historical visitations, and exhilarating field days with nature. Prepare for 7 amazing days of a road trip filled with the sights, sounds, and the aura of a diversified people. Get